Hey everyone, Pastor George here with Culture Thursdays, and on our 10,000 Blessings group, which is a joy, and if you're not a part of it, you can always jump in now. We put our blessings up, our 10 blessings every day, and one of the blessings that I put up at the beginning of this week, Monday, I think, maybe Tuesday. No, it definitely was Monday. I was really busy on Tuesday. Is that a Sunday night into Monday morning? I watched a documentary called One Child Nation, which, if you have a chance to see it, you totally should. If you have Amazon Prime membership, you can check it out on Amazon Prime. It came out, I want to say, 1 year ago or 2 years ago, and it was kind of snubbed for awards. Like, it wasn't nominated for anything at the highest levels. But on the circuits, the film circuit and stuff like that, it won award after award after award. And maybe you can tell from the poster, but it's a story, or it's a documentary that kind of examines the one child policy in China. Maybe some of you remember that. Maybe some of you remember hearing about it. I remember hearing about it growing up, but I never really was taught, like, because we didn't know that much about China. Obviously, China's a very guarded country, right? They don't want other people to know. So it's a Chinese filmmaker who lives in the United States, in New Jersey, actually. Um, and I'm forgetting her name right now, but I want to say it's like Nanfu Wong. I'm not sure though. But she talks about her experience growing up in China for a little bit. She grew up there and went to university in the West, which is how she stayed in the United States. But she talks about how she grew up with a younger brother, right? So she was born, and then her parents had another child, and how that was seen as like really scandalous and terrible in China, right? But then she kind of moves on to talk about the purpose of the one child policy, which was to reduce population. As you know, many of you know, one of the big scares of the 70s, 80s, and 90s was that by the year 2000, we wouldn't have enough water or resources to care for all of the population. And China took that very seriously and instituted a one child policy in China. Now, what that looked like for me anyway was that I thought what it was anyway was that the government would say that you can only have one child, and if you have more than that, then we'll fine you or whatever. And I think that, that I don't like that, but like it didn't sound that bad. But what it actually entailed was some really horrific stuff, right? Forced abortions, people leaving children to die, forced removal of children from the home, right? As many of you know, maybe I don't think anyone in our congregation has done this to my knowledge, but I grew up in a congregation where someone had. Many people in the United States in the 80s and 90s adopted children from China. It was a very common thing, and that's because it actually was a benefit to the Chinese government. They would take these kids and basically sell them to other places. That doesn't mean anyone who adopted did that right. It got them out of a terrible situation, but it goes to show on the Chinese side the terrible things that they were doing. And it's a really eye-opening documentary. Don't expect it to be cheerful, because it is talking about this great evil that was done by the Chinese government for 30 years. I think it started in the 70s or more. Started in the 70s, and it didn't end until like 2015 or something like that. And it's a story that needs to be told. And that's what made me so thankful for living in the United States, because every day, we hear about how terrible the United States is from all sides, right? But it's like, at the end of the day, when you see stuff like that, you're like, thank God that I don't live a place like that, especially as a Christian, right? But then it also had me theologically thinking. So I think many people would watch something like One Child Nation and think, where is God, right? They ask the theodicy question, like, why does God allow evil to happen? That was not something that I was thinking about at all, right? I see what the Chinese government was doing, and many of the people in the documentary that try to justify their actions as that is humanity at its finest, right? That we are trying to become gods and control life itself, right? Take away life on a massive scale for our own benefit. And it just shows that, that we are humans, right? So my whole thing is, people ask, where is God in that situation? I say he's on the other side of eternity waiting for them, right? That they will be judged and found wanting unless they repent and turn to Jesus, right? And I take great comfort in knowing that those who are unjust will be punished. I think that's something that as you mature in the faith, that's actually something that you should want to see, right? In Revelation, there's a lot of joy when people are being punished justly by God, right? And I think we're scared of that type of thing in the United States and kind of lovey-dovey Western Christianity. But at the same time, I think it does a good job of showing the evilness of the human heart and how we need to be very careful about what we think is good, because many times our own ideas of good are warped by the sinfulness and evil of our heart. So I just wanted to share that. If you can see the documentary, definitely see it. Maybe if we ever have when we get back, I know we've talked about doing movie nights and stuff like that. This would be a movie that I would recommend that we would watch along with a lot of other ones. I'm not going to bring all the happy, lovey-dovey Christian stuff. You guys can watch that on yourself. I'm here to challenge you with real things. So, wonderful talking with all you. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for our next part in the mailbag. You all have a wonderful Thursday. Peace out.